All right, everybody, get ready because today we are diving into something pretty unexpected. You know that whole thing about goldfish having a 3-second memory? Well, there's this new study that suggests they might be way smarter than we thought.
Oh.
And get this, it involves MrBeast.
Yeah, you heard that right. So the study, it's currently under review for the Journal of Experimental Aquatic Media Studies, but it's found a possible link between watching MrBeast's YouTube videos and longer attention spans in goldfish.
Okay, I gotta admit, that sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What exactly did the researchers do here?
Well, I put together this really interesting experiment with 3 groups of goldfish. Group A, they watched MrBeast videos every day and full of all those crazy challenges and stuff that he's known for. And then Group B, they got a steady diet of, like a slow-paced documentary about algae.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. And then Group C, that was the control group. No screens for them.
So it's like a goldfish version of movie night, but with very different viewing choices.
Exactly. And to see if there were any changes in the goldfish's behavior, they used 3 different methods. First, they just observed how engaged the fish were with the screens. Like, were they actively swimming towards the action or just ignoring it?
Yeah, that makes sense. You'd expect a fish that's like captivated by what it's seeing to behave differently than one that's bored. Where were the other 2 methods?
So the second one involved a decision-making test. They put the fish in a tank with 2 tunnels. One led to food, and it was marked with MrBeast's face. The other is unmarked and empty. This was to see if the goldfish could learn to associate MrBeast's face with a positive reward.
Oh, so if the goldfish learned, they'd consistently swim toward the tunnel with MrBeast's picture.
Exactly. And the third method was designed to specifically measure attention span. So they used bubbles, something goldfish naturally follow. And they tracked how long each group could stay focused on the bubbles movement.
Okay, so they had a multi-pronged approach to measure any changes in the goldfish. So what did they find? Did watching MrBeast actually make a difference?
The results were pretty remarkable. The goldfish who watched MrBeast, Group A, they were way more engaged with the screens than the other groups. They were actually swimming towards the action, even when there wasn't any food involved, which suggests a genuine interest in what they were seeing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they weren't just reacting to the flashing lights or something. They were drawn to the content itself. What about the decision-making test? Did they recognize MrBeast?
It seems like they did. The MrBeast group was 47% faster at choosing the right tunnel, the one with his face and the food reward. And even more surprising, they correctly chose that tunnel a whopping 83% of the time.
Hold on. Are you saying they were actually recognizing his face as a symbol for getting a reward? That's pretty amazing.
It is. The control group, with no screen time, showed no preference. They just swam around randomly. But the MrBeast group clearly learned the association, which suggests a level of cognitive processing we don't usually associate with goldfish.
That's incredible. And what about their attention spans? Did watching those fast-paced videos affect how long they could stay focused on something?
That's where it gets even more interesting. Remember the bubble test? Well, the MrBeast group. They were able to follow those bubbles for 39% longer than the other groups. Some even continued trying to chase movements on the screen even after the video ended, as if expecting the action to continue.
Oh, wow. It's like they got so used to the rapid, unpredictable nature of MrBeast's content that they were anticipating more, even when the screen went blank.
That's a great way to put it. So we have these 3 different measurements, all pointing towards the same conclusion. Exposure to MrBeast's videos seems to have had a noticeable impact on the goldfish's attention and cognitive abilities.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. But what is it about MrBeast's videos that could be causing this? Is it just him? Or could any YouTuber with a similar style have the same effect?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's what we'll get into next.
So we've seen that watching MrBeast seems to have actually boosted these goldfish's attention spans and even their ability to learn. But why? What is it about his content that might be actually triggering these changes?
Well, the researchers think it has to do with the very nature of MrBeast's videos. They're fast-paced, full of surprises, and often revolve around challenges with big rewards.
Yeah, it's true. You never know what's going to happen next in those videos.
Yeah.
One minute he's giving away a house and the next he's spending 50 hours buried alive.
Exactly. And that unpredictability, coupled with the anticipation of those big reveals and rewards, might be tapping into something pretty primal, the reward system in the brain.
Wait, are you saying goldfish have a reward system similar to ours?
While it's certainly not identical, the underlying principles might be surprisingly similar. Think about it, even for us humans. That anticipation of a reward, That little dopamine hit we get when something exciting happens keeps us engaged in wanting more.
Oh, so you're saying those quick cuts,
Yeah.
the constant surprises, and the potential for big rewards in MrBeast's videos might be triggering similar responses in the goldfish brain, keeping them glued to the screen and eager to see what happens next.
That's the hypothesis. It's like their brains are saying, hold on, something exciting might happen. I better pay attention.
And that constant stimulation, the need to stay alert and focused, could be what's leading to the improvements in their attention spans.
That's what the research seems to suggest, and it really challenges our preconceived notions about what creatures we consider simple are actually capable of.
Okay, that makes sense. But couldn't the same be said for other YouTubers who use similar tactics? I mean, there are plenty of creators out there who thrive on fast-paced edits and surprising content.
That's a very valid point. And one, the researchers are eager to explore further. It's entirely possible that any content with those core elements, rapid changes, unpredictable outcomes, and a focus on rewards, could elicit similar responses.
So theoretically, we could have Goldfish glued to PewDiePie videos or reacting to Logan Paul's latest stunts.
It's not outside the realm of possibility, but more research is needed to confirm if those specific creators would have the same effect. This study is really just the tip of the iceberg.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think we might be underestimating the cognitive abilities of so many creatures simply because we haven't considered how they might interact with our increasingly digital world.
Exactly. And this brings us to another fascinating aspect of this study, the potential implications.
Okay, let's talk about that. What could this research mean for the way we understand and interact with animals, especially those in captivity? So we've talked about the study itself and why MrBeast's videos might be having this unusual effect on goldfish. But now I'm curious about the bigger picture. Like, where does this research lead us? What are the potential implications, especially for animals in captivity?
That's where things get really exciting. This research could revolutionize how we approach animal enrichment, particularly for creatures in zoos, aquariums, even research facilities.
You mean instead of just giving them more space or like physical toys, we could be using digital content to stimulate them mentally?
Exactly. We often focus on physical well-being, which is super important, of course. But this opens up like a whole new dimension of cognitive enrichment. Imagine custom-designed digital environments tailored to the specific species and their cognitive needs.
So instead of just staring at a blank wall, a captive lion could be virtually roaming the savannah, or a monkey could be solving digital puzzles for a banana reward.
You're getting it. This could be a game changer for combating boredom and promoting mental stimulation in captive environments.
Yeah, it's like we've always assumed certain animals were just like simple creatures, content with their basic needs met. But this study suggests they might be craving more mental engagement than we thought.
It really challenges our assumptions about animal intelligence, doesn't it? We tend to define intelligence in very human-centric ways. But this research suggests we need to broaden our perspective.
Yeah, it also makes you wonder about the ethical considerations. If we're essentially creating a form of entertainment for animals, don't we have a responsibility to ensure it's beneficial and not just mindless stimulation?
Absolutely. Just like we wouldn't want children glued to screens all day without any educational or developmental benefit, we need to ensure any digital enrichment for animals is designed thoughtfully.
So it's not just about slapping a screen in a tiger enclosure and calling it a day. We need careful research and development to ensure it's actually serving their cognitive needs.
Exactly. This study is really just a starting point. There's so much more to explore which types of content are most beneficial for different species. How do we design digital environments that are both stimulating and ethical?
It sounds like a whole new field of study is opening up, merging animal cognition with digital technology.
Yeah, it's a fascinating intersection, and one that has the potential to significantly improve the lives of animals under our care. And who knows, maybe we'll learn something about ourselves along the way.
So we've gone from goldfish have a 3-second memory to goldfish might actually enjoy watching MrBeast and potentially benefiting from carefully designed digital content. What a journey.
It really highlights the importance of curiosity and challenging our assumptions. The world of animal cognition is full of surprises, and this study is a reminder that we still have so much to discover.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into this fascinating research.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking us on this unexpected and thought-provoking journey.
It's been my pleasure, and to our listeners, remember to keep questioning, keep exploring, and never underestimate the intelligence of the creatures we share this planet with.